If you're moving to Charlotte and trying to decide between South End and Uptown, this video is for you. Because these are two of the most talked about urban areas in Charlotte, but they are not the same lifestyle. So the question is not which one is better. The real question is which one fits you the way you actually want to live. So in this video, I'm breaking down South End versus Uptown Charlotte in 2026. Now let's get started with the overall vibe. South End feels very energetic, social, trendy, and very lifestyle driven. This is one of the areas people usually talk about when they say Charlotte feels like it's growing, it's modern, and full of energy. You've got restaurants, breweries, coffee shops, fitness studios, apartment buildings, townhomes, condos, lots of murals. Then you have the light rail and people walking around constantly, especially on the weekends. South End is the kind of place where your lifestyle is really built around being out and about. You may walk to dinner, you may meet friends for coffee, you may go to a brewery, you may take the light rail, you may live in an apartment or a townhome and have a lot of things just close by. On the other hand, Uptown feels more like the center of the city. It's got the skyline, office buildings, banking towers, sports venues, hotels, museums, restaurants, concerts, events, and plenty of city views. But Uptown can feel more corporate depending on where you are. During the weekday, certain parts of Uptown can feel busy with office workers all walking around. During games, concerts, and events, it can feel very alive. But in some pockets, especially after business hours, it may feel a bit quieter than people expect for a downtown. So the simple way to think about it is South End is lifestyle energy, Uptown is city center access. If you want trendy, walkable, social, and restaurant heavy, South End may fit you much better. But if you want skyline views, big city events, sports, museums, and being in the center of Charlotte of it all, Uptown may fit you much better. Now, you can get into Uptown quickly, especially using the light rail, rideshare, by bike, scooter, or a short drive, depending on where you are going. South End is also convenient to places like Dilworth, Wilmore, Sedgefield, South Park, Loso, and parts of South Charlotte. That makes it very attractive for people who want to feel close to the action but still want more of a neighborhood lifestyle. So Uptown is the center. If you work in Uptown, go to events often, if you want to be close to the stadiums, or you want that true downtown feeling, Uptown may be very convenient. You're very close to the Bank of America Stadium, the Truist Field, the Spectrum Center, Romare Bearden Park, museums, hotels, restaurants, offices, and major employers. But with Uptown, the question is, do you want to live where people come for work and events? That can be a positive or a negative depending on your lifestyle. So for location, South End wins if you want urban lifestyle with neighborhood energy. Uptown wins if you want to be in the center of Charlotte. For both South End and Uptown, everything is close together and both have great sidewalk networks, making them very walkable. But they feel walkable in different ways. South End's walkability feels more lifestyle based. You have access to walk to restaurants, coffee shops, breweries, gyms, the light rail, grocery options, depending on where you live, and other social spots. It feels like a place where people actually choose to walk around for fun. You'll see people walking dogs, heading to dinner, meeting friends, going to workout classes, or just spending time outside. Uptown's walkability is more city center based. You can walk to work, sporting events, museums, restaurants, parks, hotels, and office buildings. If you work Uptown or you just love events, this can be very convenient. But if you're looking for that casual neighborhood energy where you stroll to coffee on a Saturday morning and then meet friends for brunch, South End may feel more natural. So if your version of walkability is, I want to walk to fun things, South End probably wins. If your version of walkability is, I want to walk to work, I want to walk to events, stadiums, city attractions, games, football games. Uptown may win. So now let's take a look at the nightlife and social life. So this is where South End is very strong and really shines. South End is one of Charlotte's biggest restaurant, bar, brewery, and social areas. If you like trying new restaurants, meeting friends after work, and going to breweries and grabbing coffee, if you like going to a lot of fitness classes or being near the social scene, then South End may be one of the first places you look at. It has that "this is where things are happening" feeling. And that can be exciting if you're moving from another city and you want to meet people, go out, and feel connected. Now, Uptown also has restaurants and nightlife too, but the energy is sort of different. Uptown has sports bars, hotel restaurants, upscale dining, event-driven nightlife, rooftop spots, and places that get busy around the sports games, the concerts, conventions, and a lot of the work events. But Uptown does not always feel as consistently neighborhood social as South End. So if your lifestyle is built around dining, drinks, fitness studios, walking around, and weekend energy, South End probably wins. Now, if your lifestyle is built around events, sports, concerts, museums, and being close to the city center, Uptown may be better. Now, let's talk about the housing. So South End is heavy on apartments, condos, townhomes, and newer urban living. You'll find a lot of apartment buildings, modern townhomes, some condos, and nearby single family homes as you get closer to areas like Wilbur, Dilworth, and Sedgefield. A lot of people who live in South End are renters, new professionals in their new careers, couples, people who want low maintenance living, and buyers who want an urban lifestyle where they can easily get to entertainment by way of sidewalks. If you're looking for a large single family home with a yard, South End itself probably won't be your first choice, but the surrounding neighborhoods may be worth looking into. Uptown also has apartments and condos with more of a high-rise or city view feel. You'll see condo buildings, apartment towers, and housing that appeals to people who want to be in the middle of the city, truly. If you want skyline views, you want elevator buildings, walk to work convenience, or just a lock and leave lifestyle, Uptown may be appealing. But if you want a yard, a quiet street, or a traditional neighborhood feeling, neither South End nor Uptown may be the best match. So housing wise, South End is better if you want trendy apartments, townhomes, condos, and urban neighborhood living. And Uptown is better if you want city center apartments, condos, skyline views, and that walk to work access. Neither South End nor Uptown is usually where people go when they want the most affordable option around Charlotte. You are paying for location. In South End, you're often paying for lifestyle, being able to walk around on sidewalks, restaurants, light rail access, new construction, energy, and convenience. In Uptown, you're paying for city center access, skyline views, proximity to work, stadiums, the Panthers football game, the basketball games, museum events, and just the heart of Charlotte. The value question is not just which one costs less, it's what are you paying for and will you actually use it? If you live in South End but never walk to restaurants, never use a light rail, and you don't care about the social scene, you may be paying for a lifestyle you don't fully use. If you live in Uptown, but you don't work there, you don't go to any of the events, and you don't care about skyline living, you may also be paying for a convenience that doesn't really matter to you. So before choosing either one, ask yourself, will I actually use the walkability approach? Will I use those light rails? Will I go to these restaurants? Will I go to any of these games or events? Will this location make my daily life easier? Because the right urban area is the one where the location actually improves your life. Now let's talk about the parking. This is one of the biggest reality checks for both South End and Uptown. Parking can be a big factor. So in South End, depending on where you live and where you're going, Parking can feel very tight, especially around popular restaurants, those brewery areas, and those weekend spots. If you live in an apartment or a condo, you may have garage parking, but guest parking can still be something that you need to think about. So in Uptown, parking is also very much part of the lifestyle. Now you may have a building with parking in it, but street parking, event parking, visitor parking, and garage access can all affect daily life. So if you're coming from a very suburban area where parking is easy everywhere, this may be an adjustment. Or if you're coming from areas like New York where parking is very hard, it might actually be a little easier for you in Uptown because there are plenty of parking garages and not a lot of street parking. Also think about errands. In the suburbs, you may be used to pulling into a large parking lot, running into a store, and leaving quickly. In South End or Uptown, errands may take more planning depending on where you live and what you need. So if you want easy parking and simple errands, South End and Uptown may not be your easiest options. But if you're comfortable with city living, light rail, and garages, it may not bother you as much. This is one of those lifestyle things you need to be honest about. So let's look at commute and transportation. South End has a major advantage because of the light rail. The Blue Line runs through South End and connects you to Uptown, Noda, University City, and other areas along the route. If you want to live car light or just have another option besides driving, South End can be very convenient. It's also close enough to Uptown that the commute can be quick depending on where you live and where you work. Uptown may be ideal if you actually work in Uptown. You may be able to walk to work or have a very short commute, which can be a huge lifestyle benefit. But if you work outside of Uptown, you need to think about getting in and out of the city center. You can do that by bike. Because of the parking, the traffic, and your route, you need to think about all these things. So for transportation, South End wins if you want light rail access and urban neighborhood connectivity. Uptown wins if you work in Uptown or you want to be right in the city center. Okay, now I want to talk about safety, feeling carefully and practically. Both South End and Uptown are urban areas, so they feel different from quiet suburbs like Matthews, Waxhaw, Ballantyne, and Fort Mill. There will be more people, more density, more nightlife, more traffic, more events, and more city activity. For some people, that feels exciting. For others, it feels overwhelming. Safety can also feel very different block by block, so building by building and time of day. So if you're seriously considering either South End or Uptown, I always recommend visiting at different times of the day. Go during the weekday, go on a weekend, go during the evening, go when there is an event, walk around the area near the building or home you're considering, because your comfort level does matter. South End may feel more social and neighborhood-like to some people. Uptown may feel more corporate and event-driven to others. Neither feeling is wrong. You just need to know which one matches your comfort level. Now, South End may be the better fit if you say, I want to be able to walk on sidewalks. I want restaurants, coffee shops, breweries, fitness studios nearby. Or I want to be near the light rail. Or I love that feeling of a social lifestyle. Or I'm okay with living in an apartment or a townhome. Or if I like high energy and I don't mind a lot of density. Or I want to be close to Uptown but not directly in the business district. South End is a strong fit for someone who wants Charlotte to feel active, modern, and connected. Now you may want to skip South End if you want quiet, easy parking, larger homes, more yard space, or lower density lifestyle. Uptown may be the better fit if you say, I want to live in the center of Charlotte. I work in Uptown. I love skyline views. I want to be close to stadiums, museums, concerts, and events. Or if you say, I like city center living. I want a condo or an apartment. I want to be near offices, hotels, restaurants. I want to be able to walk down the street to the Hornets game. I love major Charlotte landmarks. Uptown is a strong fit for someone who wants direct access to the center of that city. It may work well for people who work in banking, corporate offices, law, and finances, or even in entertainment and sports, or anyone who wants a downtown lifestyle. But you may want to skip Uptown if you want a neighborhood feeling, quieter streets, easier parking, or more of a local social scene like South End. Either way, let's make this really simple. Choose South End if you want restaurants and nightlife. Choose Uptown if you want city center living and you work in Uptown. So if you're deciding between South End and Uptown Charlotte, remember, this is not about which one is better. It's about which one fits your actual life. South End gives you being able to walk around, all those restaurants, that social energy. Uptown gives you, I can walk to work or I can bike to work real easily. And I'm right in the heart of Charlotte. That right choice really depends on your commute, your budget, your lifestyle, and your comfort with density, your parking needs, and what you want your day-to-day life to feel like. So if you're relocating to Charlotte or trying to decide between South End or Uptown or Matthews or Waxhaw or Ballantyne or Fort Mill or any of the surrounding areas, I'd love to help you narrow that down. You can call or text me or email me. My information is in the description box below. And if you want more videos that help you figure out where your life actually fits in Charlotte, make sure you subscribe because that's exactly what I cover here every week. I will see you in the next video and I hope you have a great day.